السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Uh, Welcome back. Uh, we are starting today Unit 2 of this class, Business English 1. It's titled as Projects, Mission to Accomplish. We are going through, of course, the article, the exercises, the vocabulary, and the dilemma. If I'm going too fast, please let me know in the notes for next class. Some people say they read too fast. I'm going through. We are going to start with Up, Up and Away, which is the article from the Economist. The glossary is Tint, which is a period of work, a phase. Plague, cause terminal or continual trouble. Pump up, suddenly increase something. Corner cutting or cutting, doing things badly or cheaply. Spin-off businesses, which is a new company that emerges from a larger company. Okay. Tony Douglas is redefining how to run massive construction projects. Okay. To the west of London is a vast building site in the midst of a landscape of mud and men rises a vast glass fronted box that will soon be Britain's largest free-standing building. This is Heathrow Airport's fifth terminal, destined to cater for 30 million passengers a year. It will include not just a terminal, but also new road and rail links and connections to the London transport network. Big construction projects are always tricky, but airports bring special problems, tricky building techniques, and the need to interface with other transport links and to install sophisticated electronics to handle passengers and baggage. The man in charge of this logistical nightmare. من هو المسؤول عن هذه الكابوس اللوجستيكي? His name is Tony Douglas. Came to British Airport Authority, which is the BEA, via stints in the car and the commercial jet industries and at Kenwood, a domestic appliance firm. For 3 years, he ran BEA's, which is British Airports Authority, as we said, supply chain. He took over a project manager for T5, as the project is known, after the last boss left suddenly. The risks attached to this huge project are so great that BEA has been forced to tackle it in novel ways. If this giant endeavor is not completed on time and on budget, it could take the whole company down. First is BA is unusual in running the project itself. Mr. Douglas insists that outsourcing to a big project management group such as Petchel would cost more, not less. Second, as much as possible of the construction is taken place off-site. This reflects the site's physical constraints. It has only one entry point through which a 12-meter load must move every 30 seconds for a period of 4 years, and the site has capacity for no more than 2 days of storage. The solution, he says, has been some car industry logistics, a large investment in computing and training that no individual supplier would have made. But, was our paragraph number 5, but the biggest novelty is the T5 agreement. This is a contract with the project's main supplier, companies and subcontractors like Balfour, Beatty, and Bombardier, which aims to minimize the conflicts and cost cutting that usually plague big building works. Usually, contractors hold a beauty parade and take on the suppliers who bid lowest. Bid lowest. Suppliers rely on glitches and delays to pump up the cost. Every time something goes wrong, legal haggling break out among suppliers and between them and the contractor, and work shuts down for weeks on end. With construction behind schedule, time runs short for the final installation and testing of the electronic systems. Under the T5 agreement, BEA carries the risk, putting a precautionary sum into a fund that will be shared out among all its suppliers if the project finishes on time and budget. The effect, says Mr. Douglas, has been to change the whole pace and culture of the project, allowing teams of employees from different suppliers to work together. As one example, he cites the elegant steel air traffic control tower. When the first two sections were engineered, they were out by 9 millimeters. Normally, says Mr. Douglas, the manufacturers would have blamed the structural engineers, who would have blamed the steel fabricator. At first, they did just that. Then Mr. Douglas said, "Guys, this is my problem," and sent them off to find a collective solution. New departures. Passing risk to suppliers chosen by beauty parade increases the risk of corner cutting. And as T5 suppliers are partners who will work on future projects, they have an incentive to do a good job. If something goes wrong later, there may be a debate about negligence, but not about which supplier is to blame. The last paragraph, number 10. If T5 works so well, why isn't BA building airports elsewhere? A bigger priority, at least for now, is to get permission to build an additional runway at Stansted, London's third airport. But ultimately, success will surely point to a spin-off business that can build other projects safely and cheaply. As we said, now we're done with the article. Would like to go through a few of the words. You should have read through most of the definitions of the words that you're not familiar with. But we'll try to give you today a neat explanation of corner cutting. We need to define corner cutting, as that's your first definition for your homework. We're still gonna have more through this lecture. So we need corner cuttings. It's in the paragraph, and we need corner cutting is in paragraph 9. Now let's go to take a look at the exercise after. Read the text again and find the information to complete the following. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to go over that. Let's see. Okay, let's do the vocabulary. Number 1. Oh, this is in page number 18. The company will be in serious difficulties if they don't complete the project within the time schedule and cost estimates, which is on time and on budget. That's one word for the whole. We need to just replace what's underlined by the phrases in the paragraphs. when it's, and it tells you what the paragraph is. Number 2 is BEA decides against giving the project to an outside supplier. What was that be? If we go to back to it says paragraph 4, we go back to paragraph 4, and it will say, it says that outsourcing to a big company. I mean, it's the answer is outsourcing. The next one is in paragraph number 6. Contracts are generally award contracts to the companies that make the least expensive proposal, which is, I repeated twice in the middle. Paragraph 6 is lower bids, lower, or the lowest, the one that gives a lower bid or bids lower. Number 4, supplier who are partners have the motivation to provide quality work. Paragraph 9, the motivation to provide the quality work, which is an incentive to do a good job. 5, getting permission to build an additional runway is much more important consideration, which is a priority, is a more priority before, or more urgent priority. Okay, and the next one also is the vocabulary. You will define the words and phrases in paragraphs 6 and 9 that are used to refer to problems and match them with their meanings. Minor errors, we've seen it before, glitches. Okay, situations where something is late. Okay, you can tell me now. We need you to go through this. I need this part also done for the homework. Number 2, in this page. Okay, this is page number, let's see, give you the page number, I guess this is not it. It's number 19. Question number 2 in vocabulary, which is on page number 19. Find the words and phrases in paragraph 6 and 9 that are used to refer to the problems and match them with their meaning. Stops, late, overdue, disagreement over minor details, expires is not sufficient. That's all these are in paragraph 6. Paragraph 9 has 2, which is number 7 and 8. Doesn't happen as planned. Failure to ensure that work is done correctly. Okay. Please go through all the vocabulary. You could do the practice. We need to get used to these. In 1992, Bechtel Corporation of America was, let's take a look at this. In 1992, Bechtel Corporation of America was appointed as the lead contractor for the construction of the new Athens underground rail system. The aim was to have it ready for the Olympic Games. Which were to launch. Number 2 is launch in the city in 2004. تنعقد أو تطلق في 2004. But the complexity of the project was so great that few people believed it would be completed on time. Number 3 is on time. There was also concern that the cost would exceed the initial estimate أو تقدير الأول ب $3.4 billion. Despite what dilemma or caused by the time-consuming excavation of the many archaeological finds and by occasional glitches or stops with technical equipment, Bechtel ensured that construction didn't get jammed or didn't stop, get overloaded. Once the project had been completed, Adeco Metros and a newly formed private company took over the management of the new network, which carries an estimated 400,000 passengers every day. Well, for the language check, like I said, we need to do, again, this is grammar. We agreed that we're gonna skip all that. And also this, we're still in the grammar section. Okay. Guess we're gonna go for see culture at work. In some cultures, attitudes to time are different, and it's not always considered essential to respect a deadline. What is the case in your culture? Do people respect time in our culture here? I guess not. Let's move to the dilemma. Test crisis. The brief about the dilemma here, which is المعضلة. Infineon is an international semiconductor manufacturer which manufactures semiconductor chips at its 5 factories in Europe and at its plant in Asia. Each Infineon plant traces incoming orders and then plans its production. All the chips are then tested internally at each site before delivery. At the monthly production meeting at the plant in France, managers are worried. It looks as if they have identified a serious problem that could impact on deliveries. Production levels will have to be increased during the coming months to deal with an increase in orders, but that is not where the problem is. The problem lies. It's with the testing equipment. The problem with the testing equipment. The planning and supply chain managers and quality controllers can see quite clearly that they will not have the capacity to test the increased production with their existing machines. and لن يستطيعوا أن يفحصوا أو يتأكدوا من جودة المنتجات مع زيادة الإنتاج. الماشينز اللي عندهم لا تكفي، الماكينات اللي عندهم لا تكفي لعمل التستنج أو الفحوصات أو للتأكد من الجودة. They have 5 months before the situation becomes critical. During that time they must find and implement an effective solution. وخلال هذه ال5 شهور يجب أن يجدوا حلا لهذه المشكلة ويطبقوه. An emergency meeting has been called to decide what action to take and to set up a project group to deal with the implementation. The 4 managers who will be attending the meeting are each going to propose a solution, and they will then decide together in which solution should be adapted or adopted. Should be adapted. They will then set up a project theme and fix the objectives. Now, can any of you as a group find a solution for this, or decide or discuss for a solution? I just leave this for the next homework, because I guess we have enough homework. Well, it's not that much, I guess. Let's do this too. Each of you think of a solution, a quick solution within the 5 months period to solve this dilemma. Each one of you gotta send me a proposal, not more than 1 paragraph, 5 to 6 lines, telling me what kind of solution would you come up with. Think of a solution that will help the company and will make them deliver their products on time. This is part of your homework, and please, you will have enough time to do the 3 assignment or 3 parts of this assignment that I gave you during this lecture. Inshallah. I guess this is it for the day. If you have any concern or questions, please don't hesitate to post it on the group, on our portal, the e-learning portal. You have windows there to post your questions or comments, or you could have question for me or even messages for the teacher. This part of new features that were added to our e-learning portal. So please go through it, do the homework, and go through the new words. It needs to learn all these new words. We need to get used to this kind of questioning, like the practice this page number 19. This practice, complete the article with words from this vocabulary section. We need to get used to filling out these paragraphs, because we're gonna have some quizzes of this nature. يعني طلعوا على هذه الصفحة اللي أنا فاتح عليها الآن، حيكون من زيها في نفس الفورم، نفس الشكل، حيكون يجي منها امتحان أو كويز سريع في الكلمات زي هيك. I will give you، هنعطيكم الكلمات، ولكن بس just all you have to do is put them back into the paragraph. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.